Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Strompcast podcast. Why did I say podcast after? Fuck. Another Strompcast episode, number 208, where I'm pretty sure it's going to be yet another group therapy session here. Let me go straight to the co-hosts. As always, let me start with my man, Chris. Chris, how's it going, brother?
Yeah, it's going all right. Better than I guess if this was on Monday Monday. Closer to the letdown. It felt like, especially going into it, knowing that second place has already dropped points. It's like, oh wow, it'd be really typical if we failed to capitalize on this opportunity and then did just that. We cried about the VAR last week. Plenty more to cry about this week. Just insane. Another epic performance. Tied for first now.
Yeah. But ahead on goal difference. So stop the count if you ask me. Let me go to my fellow Canuck, Richard. Richard, how's it going, brother?
Oh, all I know is pain. All I know, it was a rough Saturday, boys. We got the news that Shohei Ohtani is just not going to the Blue Jays, which, if you're a baseball fan, was really, really a letdown. And then Sporting let me down as well, and it was just like, man, just go to Sunday already. A waste of a day. It was rough goings on here in my end. But it is what it is. I kind of figured we'd drop the draft game. There was something. I had a sneaky feeling there might be some shenanigans about, but I was proved right at the end, unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll jump right into it. Let me just give a special mention to Sam, who couldn't make it today. Caught the virus, caught the bug.
How are you gonna catch COVID after the pandemic?
And the man ran.
He did run a half marathon, yeah.
And then caught a virus. That's
almost
crazy.
2024, bro. Still getting COVID.
Yeah, bro. This guy's just trying to get out of work or something.
Loser. What a loser mentality this guy's got.
Don't forget to give myself a follow there. And as always, of course, AT Alvalade. Let me just give a quick update to everybody, because I know everybody is dying to ask me how I'm doing in my fantasy football.
How are you doing?
I understand.
It was a chaotic week in the world of football.
Out of the three teams I've had, 2 of them made playoffs.
Okay.
The one team that I have in a 16-man league, I really only made the playoffs because of TFC draft pick Brandon Aubrey.
I forgot about that guy playing the NFL.
He hasn't missed a kick all season. He hasn't missed a kick.
He hasn't missed a field goal. No.
He hasn't missed a field goal. He got like 350-yarders for me. Bro.
Yeah.
He finished with 22 points. The other guy on my team that got the most was like Ezekiel Elliott that I picked up from the waivers. So my team name is Inshallah, and it was literally like a God moment, bro. The fantasy football gods, they punished me on my big boy league because I have the most points and I'm 4-10. But in my other 2 leagues, putting in work. But anyways, I digress. Let me just quickly bring up the 11 as follows. We had it here. We had Adananet, Ishgayu, Diomande, Inacio in the back line. I'm actually glad that they put Ishgayu there because that's really where he played. Jenny, Mateus Reja, fullback. Morita and Hulman in the midfield. Edwards, Pot, and Gyökeres up top with substitutions of Nuno Santos, Paulinho, and Trincão. We had a thin bench. No Coates, no Bragança, no St. Just. And there's somebody else that I'm missing. Anyways, let me start it off with you first, Chris. What was your thoughts on this game?
I thought that we probably did enough to at least get 1 point out of it. I think that we're very unlucky to come away with 0. Yeah. I guess Benfica actually made up a point on us, right? Technically. And Porto made up 3. So we really left the barn door wide open for everybody to make up ground on us, even when they're also dropping points. It's a tough place to play. Obviously, we've struggled here in the past. It's never easy. It was also not the greatest weather.
We mustn't forget it was raining.
It was raining. And yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the game is marred by refereeing decisions. It felt like one of those games where it's kind of just like high intensity, kind of a clusterfuck. Teams are gonna get their chances, and whoever makes the most of their chances is gonna win. But each team is gonna have an opportunity to win the game, to put their stamp on the game. And you see that. I mean, both teams had over 2 expected goals. Vitoria, respect to them. It's not like they just were pathetic, but they got the benefit of some decisions. No, I mean they carved out some chances. They had some dudes that I was impressed with, and most importantly, I feel like they showed heart. It feels like things are definitely going in the right direction for them under Pacheco. It seems like they kind of need like a vibes based, like a man manager. So it seems like that's definitely working out for them. On the sporting end, truthfully, it's unlucky. The bad performances, the performances that I think that let us down are from people that typically let us down. I think Esgaio let us down. I think Adan let us down. I think Ignacio kind of let us down as well. He spammed some passes clearly and hacked his goal point rating, but for me, he is not the best player on the field for us, in my opinion. Nor is he even the best defender for us, in my opinion. Nuno Santos showed his value yet again. I mean, at this point, I'm like, why is he not playing more? What has he done? What is he doing in training? What is he not doing in training? Because his playing time has been severely limited, and he's had some actually good performances now recently, and hopefully it changes going forward. But I don't really know what more my man is supposed to do out here to earn some minutes at a spot where there's
bald.
There's not that many.
Aberdeen prejudice towards bald people confirmed.
But yeah, it sucks. Again, it's not a great Gyökeres game. He battled, but he didn't really create. And he was managed, I would say, for the most part. An unenthused performance from Trincão off the bench. Not a great season for him. Continues. Probably get some minutes and some opportunities with a meaningless Europa League game, another cup game against a second division team coming up. He's gonna probably have a couple more chances upcoming to get some more minutes, have real opportunities to even start. I just hope that he can turn it around, because this season so far, at roughly the 40% mark there's not been much to report.
It's been very uninspired. It's not instilled a whole lot of confidence.
Maybe he's more of a second half of the season guy. Maybe that's his thing.
If he goes sicko mode in the second half, then great. But
we can only hope, like he did last year. We can only hope. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else. Obviously, we'll get into more of the specific incidents afterwards. But yeah, that's my general overview.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Rich.
Not a whole heck of a lot to add with Chris. I thought this was a clusterfuck of a game. Just everything was just so chaotic. Adan, I feel for Adan almost, but then I don't, because he makes the one good save we were talking before the show where he kind of comes out, challenges, sweeps a leg. It's great, but then they go back and score almost in the exact same style of attack anyway. So it's like, well, that save's pointless. There's the one goal, which is like, he could have probably almost got to it. If not got to it, he just kind of flails about. It's frustrating. I hope to God we get more Franco Israel minutes or something because this is getting brutal. I think the near post goal is fucking unforgivable.
Yeah.
That is like
I'm with you there.
Go to fucking jail. That is so unforgivable from a veteran goalie. I expect like a rookie goalie, like an 18 or 19-year-old goalie to make that type of mistake. Not a guy who has like Spanish La Liga and like Champions League experience.
Real Madrid,
Real Madrid, a guy who's been around the block. I expect him to cut down the angle.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to say Adan, out of all the keepers we've had over the last like 20 years, Adan is the one that won us the league, you know?
We had Ricardo and Patricio, and I guess before that you could say like kind of who's Schmeichel.
Schmeichel, you can say, you know, Viviano, Salim.
Viviano never played.
Fair, yes, but I'm saying
Keem had like a half season before he pissed off all of that.
I think Celine or Selen, whatever his name is better than Adan. The legend. You know what I mean? Like it's
go pick up literally anybody else. Go pick up Mascarpone from LAFC.
Big facts.
Canadian International. I need my Canadian reps. Just not a great game from Jokeres. Probably one of his worst games of the season, like Chris said. Morita and Edwards were uninspired.
Yeah.
Isgaio kind of let us down. It was the usual suspects that when they let us down hard. It was Mateus Reich and Isgaio really let us down. Edwards stunk. Paulinho, when he came on, was very lackluster. Trincao was I don't even want to waste my breath on him. That's how little he did. Nuno Sanz, I think should be. I would like to see him get some more minutes. I don't know what he did to not get minutes because it's not like they have a ton of options at left fullback or wing back. Unless Amorim has, like I said, has a problem with him being bald because he didn't like Slimani very well either, and he really liked Nuno Sanz until he shaved his head. So maybe there's a pattern. Amorim hates bald guys. Who the fuck knows?
Who else has been bald in our team since Mathieu's low key losing his hair. Yeah, Moding had a problem with Mathieu. You know what I mean?
João Mario is the only one I can think of. The other bald dude I can kind of think of.
Slimani doesn't exactly have a lot of hair.
No.
Yeah. With João Mario, I think that's what it is. It's the PTSD. He finally let a bald guy into like his heart, and then he betrayed him. And then he betrayed
him, and he's like, "Fuck all of you, all of you. I got a vendetta." There's not much to say. Like they knew this was going to be a very difficult game going in. Vitoria is always a tough day. They have great fans. Some of the best fans I think in the league. They've got a decent team this year as well. They've looked pretty good this year as well. Like they're in 4th or 5th place. Like that top 5 is all super close right now. Like it's the closest it's been in a long time.
6 points between 1st and 5th.
Yeah.
1st and 5th.
Yeah, it's a 2-game swing right now as it stands right now. So like I think Braga could be in first by the end of this week, but this match week, or at least tied for first, depending on the results. I think because they're like 3 points out of first, or something.
Let me double check if that's 3 or 4, but I think you're
right. They're like
it's 3. Yeah, it's 3. You're right.
So yeah, they could be 1 point out of first, depending like who the hell knows what's going on this week, right? Like just a circus. I mean, it's good. I like a competitive league, but it's like this is also a big blown opportunity to have had a 2-game swing on second place. It gives you that bit of leeway. We figured, wow, Benfica tied, huge opportunity, and we blew it. We pissed it away. I do think the refs were on one this game, the whole game. Just nothing made sense. They were just I feel like they were just calling things on either team just for the sake of making a call. That's what it felt like. Again, we talk about the lines too. We're never gonna know 100%. It's really close. If you call it once and you don't have enough evidence to overturn it, usually the thing is the call stands. But who the hell knows? It was a wet fart of a game. Yeah. I want to forget it and move on. But then we have the Clásico with Porto. We're at home for this, correct?
We're at home.
We're at home, so there's some solace in that because I think if we were going to Portugal, we were going to get peppered. I think being at home, it gives us a little bit of hope. But yeah, just not impressed with anybody really this game. I think everybody just kind of looked lackluster. It almost like they were almost had their eyes on the next game and thought they had this one in the bag. It was almost like they were thinking ahead too far, and it's like no, just focus one week at a time. I do question. I know he was saving Edwards for probably the Classico because he doesn't want him to get card, but like in a close game, I think you risk it. At the end of the day, I think you just risk it. If you have to go with Trincão or Jetty on that wing in the Classico, so be it. I think you risk it to try to get that 4-point advantage at least. And then if you draw the Classico and someone still gains a couple points on you, big deal. You're still in first for a week. Exactly. Like another week. It buys you some time. I think you risk it in this game and you take your chances the next game, knowing that Porto also hasn't played well. That's the one thing. None of the big teams have played particularly well. We've all looked shaky for a good chunks of the season so far. So, like, it is literally anybody's title. I think it's going to be who fucks up the least. I don't think it's going to come down to who wins most. It's going to be who can just screw up the least amount out of the big teams. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. It's just, I hate this game. I hate this team. Some days I hate this team.
No, fair enough. I hear you there. A few things you mentioned that I just want to quickly touch on too before we get into the polemitas. Edwards, I agree with you 1,000%. We leave him on. Even though he wasn't having the most inspiring game, it just takes a moment with Edwards, right? Whereas with Trincão, he came on, he had a shot on net, really. It just went straight to the goalkeeper, and then he disappeared the rest of the game. Didn't see him at all. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on was you mentioning the ref. 1,000% agree. Ref is fucking garbage. Never gave us calls this entire game.
I saw a stat. My dad was telling me a stat yesterday at dinner when we were talking about the game because I'd been gone for the weekend. We've had, I think, 20 some games with that ref. We've had up to 81 points able to be disputed with this specific ref. It was Pinheiro, correct?
Yeah.
And I think out of the 81 points that like possible points, we've gained like 20 something.
Yeah,
we've gained like a quarter of the points. It's not like just over 25% of the points, I think.
Exactly.
I'm not saying conspiracy. I'm just saying it seems in big games he just walks around too much.
Let me say, let me praise the man here. There's not many times that I do it on this platform, at least. But let me just praise because Varandas lately he knows when to talk. At least.
He knows when to come in and out of the limelight. I'll give him some credit.
He had a solid quote this week where it was every Sporting fan is traumatized of Pinheiro.
Yeah,
and I agree there. I agree with the president there. He said
I thought he brought it back around. I thought he brought it back around too, saying like it doesn't matter what the game is. Like we can't have those types of decisions affecting games. I thought it was nice to kind of bring it around to it. This affects everybody. It's not just it affects us, but it does affect everybody because we can't have that type of amateur hour bullshit happening in this league.
Exactly. But yeah, ref was a joke, and I think this was mentioned by Chris in the in our chat on Sunday after the game that we got that benefit on that one game, and then they've just been punishing us ever since, right? That 12 centimeter offside goal that we scored. And then it's been bullshit call after bullshit penalty after the Benfica game and it's just like, when is enough? You know what I mean? Like, when is the league going to come out and say, oh, our fault here? You know what I mean? But
and here, you want to know what's funny? I mentioned this after the Benfica game, how our admin is so selective when they come out and say something about the refereeing or stuff like that.
Yeah.
They actually did. I think it was a brief mention in an interview. Varandas mentioned it. But the only reason he felt comfortable to mention it was because he was critiquing João Pinheiro. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the main João Pinheiro critique comes from the Porto games in his refereeing of Porto in general, and then Sporting Porto. So it's like, that's the only reason they even said anything, you know?
Yeah.
because it like fell within the range of acceptable critiques, you know. Yeah. But I mean, it is pretty crazy that Sporting has I've seen the record, the last like 15 with João Pinheiro reffing. It's like brutal. 2 wins. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Only other thing I want to quickly mention, and then we'll move on to the polémicas. Paulinho, I thought came on and did well. He was linking up at least really well with the team. I didn't think he was too bad. Obviously, I do think
Trincão being on there is lacked service. I think if he's on there more with Edwards, we probably see a bit more stuff going on. Trincão leaves a lot to be desired in terms of actually creating chances for him. Like he can get in space and great position all he wants. If he's not getting a decent ball, it means nothing at the end of the day.
At this point with Trincão, if you're not starting him, you only sub him on when the game is basically won. Because when we're chasing a result, Trincão's not that guy to like grab the game by the horns and sort of give us something, right?
Yeah, when I'm watching a game and we're chasing, and I don't sit there at home and think, it's all right, boys, you got this. Trincão's coming on to save the day. I never thought that.
Not anymore, at least.
No, so I think it's just he leaves a lot to be desired. He's such a weird player.
Yeah, he had so much. I mean, he still has potential. He's still young, but as of right now, at some point you run into Marcus Rashford, where it's like, okay, you're 26 or 27 now. You can't say I got potential. Like, at some point you got to actually deliver. You know? Yeah, exactly. Only other mention, or 2 other players that I wanted to mention. Well, 3, I guess, technically. Hulman, I really liked. I thought Hulman was maybe our man of the match if I had to give one to somebody. Maybe even Pot, I thought, played a good game. Great assist on the Nusan's goal to bring us level, at least for a little bit. I thought these 2 players were really poor for us. One more surprising than the other so I thought Murita was poor for us. He got the assist. Surprised he got a 4.9 though. I mean, even with an assist, that's crazy for me.
It's a little wild.
He was bad. I don't know if he's 4.9 bad, but he was bad. I'm not gonna say he's not.
He should be getting a better rating than fucking Mateus Reis or Gaio because just on the assist alone, because those guys were useless.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought Murita had in the first half. I want to say I was counting like maybe 5 misplaced passes that would have put us through. So I thought Murita was poor. I was surprised to see Hulman come off. Maybe it was the yellow as well. You're probably right there. But
that's what I'm wondering.
I would have rather seen Hulman on with Pot in the middle than Murita and Pot, because that just leaves so much to be desired there.
You just don't have a pure defensively minded player in your midfield.
It's Hulman. Right? It's Hulman, but Hulman is just like he's like a B-Tech Pelinha when it comes to winning the ball back. Mm-hmm. But then he has like the mentality of like, okay, now I need to get this forward pass. It's not let me take the space and then pass it back to my defender.
Like we're gonna move forward as quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's okay. I win the ball back. We're taking the space. Where's Gyökeres? Where's Pot? And I love that about him because he's always looking in front of him. He's always looking to break. I don't know how much of that is Hulman and how much of that is the tactical analysis of the game. I think it's more Hulman than it is tactics, right? Because I've seen Amorim slow down play and just pass to the back, maintain possession, and let's try to pass our way in.
Build up the attack.
Exactly. But yeah, Murita was poor. Inacio again poor. That second goal, I know it leads to an own goal, but that starts with an Inacio misplaced pass that he doesn't need to force.
Yeah.
He does not need to force that. And this is about the second or third time this happens this season where the defender will try to force a pass. It doesn't work. And then they're standing in midfield while the ball then goes behind them. And then they're chasing. And the thing that pisses me off a lot about this play is they're then chasing the run of play. The player out on the wing gets the ball. Diomande starts going to the player on the wing with the ball. And Inacio correctly decides to not go so much to the guy on the ball and decides to drift to the guy in the middle, but he's not attacking the guy in the middle fast enough or hard enough where the pass just comes into the box. Okay, he gets the shot off. I think Adan saves it, but then the ball ricochets out wide. They get the ricochet goal in, right? It's an own goal. But that whole play is just frustrating entirely because if Inacio is attacking the player going to the back post, he potentially at least like clears the ball and the ricochet doesn't potentially happen there, right? because he's so lazy at getting back, I think that's why the goal comes in. You can blame Morita because of the own goal. I guess that's why goal point gave him the 4.9. You can maybe blame Adan for being super slow to it. I don't blame you for it, but I'd say the majority of the fault on that goal, on that second goal, is Inacio. He has no business trying to force that pass through. It's 1-1 as it is, I think. So, a lot of time still left. No business forcing that through, and then he's way too, for a guy who just lost the ball, you're coming back way too lazy. I need to see a bit more effort, especially if you're the one that lost the ball. But yeah, that's me on that point. We'll go through these casos on chronological order here. So let me start with the potential, the almost. I was celebrating as if it was.
We thought it was. We thought we were on the edge of glory here.
So this is the one without the lines. It looks like
to the naked eye, that is close. It's very close, I will say. This is without the lines. It is kind of hard to tell. Now we're going to see the lines that they drew in a second.
If we had a production team here, it would have been way better. But it's just
really got a producer in here at one point.
But this makes it look way closer. You know what I mean?
This is so.
You want to know what's funny is I've never seen this image just zoomed out a tad so that I can see the first digit. I seen the second digit's 8. Is it a 1? Is it a 2?
I think it's a 1. I think it's a 1.
It's a 1, so it's 18. And even the images they were showing on Sport TV, they kept cutting off the
image.
Yeah, the image.
The number,
tight.
So yeah, I mean, they make it look way bigger of a gap than it is.
Yeah.
Than it looks without the lines.
And
it's
again,
tight.
we don't have the head-on one, right? So you're always going to be kind of guessing.
Yeah,
you don't have the NFL swivel cam. That
just I will say, what really was remarkable to me about this one was the speed at which it was determined that it was
done right away.
Yeah. I was like,
it was really quick. Yeah.
Sometimes it takes them 6 minutes to draw the lines if it's under 20 centimeters, if it's that close. You're telling me you guys did it in 10 seconds?
You didn't let
How?
My theory, Pot, after he scores, he goes like this to the linesman. So because he gives the thumbs up, I'm convinced that they were just like, okay, he's calling it offside, so we don't have to really look at it.
Yeah.
Also, you know what I thought? Did Pot do the chip because he thought he was offside? So it's like, this finish doesn't really count. I'm just gonna.
Who the hell knows?
Maybe.
I don't know because it's like it would be hilarious if his fuck it finish is the best finish he's had all season.
It's the best finish of the year. Yeah.
That would have been such a great goal, bro. And then it would have put us 2-0 up.
2-0 up right before half. We would have been looking good. And then they cancel this. Event a pen. Boom. 1-1 at half.
Yeah.
So let's go to the pen.
That offside is really tight. I still am not. I'm not 100% on 50-50 on the offside too. What I'm not 50-50 on is this bullshit. This was they just created a case that wasn't there. That's what they did for this. There's no.
I've not seen one angle that looks like he clips him. I've seen angles where you can't tell, and I've seen angles where it looks like he doesn't. There's no angle where it looks like he does. And again, he's not even called to look at it himself.
No.
Yeah.
The guys upstairs are that confident that he makes a pen that he doesn't even need to come and look at it. This is not a close
I just
call.
wish VAR was this quick every week instead of taking 10 minutes to make a decision. Because then I'd be like, you know what, whatever. We probably wouldn't complain. But that's it.
That one was crazy.
They take 10 minutes every week to make that type of call. This week they said no, we got stuff to do. They all must have had a hot date or something going on because they all were quick on the ball with their VAR stuff this week.
So this is the front angle. This is the one angle I thought maybe.
Here's a conspiracy. On the last offsides.
Yeah.
They ruled it out before they drew the lines because they never showed it's not like they showed the lines right after it happened. They didn't show the lines until half.
Yeah.
They had about 10, 15 more minutes to draw the lines. So they ruled it out, and then they drew the lines to justify the decision.
That it was ruled out.
Because I don't think they drew the lines in 10 seconds.
There's no way.
And if you can draw the lines in 10 seconds, so why don't you do it every time?
Why is
does
it
it
taking
take
you so
6
long
minutes, 4 minutes?
every other week?
Even 2 minutes. Like that's still 120 seconds versus legit like max like 15, 20.
Yeah,
30.
like they were so. I'm telling you, they had a date.
6 times as long is like the norm there.
They want to get. They all had a night on the town at Guimarães plan. They had.
It is an under 20 centimeter decision, which is tight.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't know. This
it's just 5 minutes of crazy video refereeing, and the game went in 1-1 when it could have been 2-0.
Why can't we have a president punch a
even like worst case scenario?
Bruno, you know Bruno was running the thing. You know Bruno was president of this game. He would have fought the ref.
Bro. If we had a Turkish president, if anybody knows what happened on the Turkish league this week.
Yeah, so
right. You know what I have seen the incident, and I have seen the aftermath, and I have seen all the condemnations. You know what I haven't seen?
What?
Was my man's freak out justified? What was the call?
Yeah,
that's facts. No one knows what happened.
That's facts.
We just
don't know.
I've not seen any highlights of the game or even the score. Did they tie? Yeah. Did they win? Did they lose? Like what happened?
We just know he leathered this guy upside the head, and they literally
were kicking him while he was down too, bro.
It was like a friggin' WWE.
They hit him down. He hit him down, and then like 3 other guys were kicking him, bro.
It was
like the first images I seen on Twitter.
They beat the shit out of this poor guy.
I think they all got arrested. I think like 5 people got arrested.
I hope so. It's assault.
Bro, the only images I first seen on Twitter was the kicking. I was like,
I saw the punch. I saw the punch first, and then I saw the kicking.
But then, and then I seen the angle where the guy just comes out, boom, and he drops, and then you see 3 other guys come in and just kick.
And then you see guys like, what are you doing?
Did that ref the Benfica game today?
No, I think he was still like in the hospital. He was coming in like today.
Yeah, because I saw after that he was supposed to ref the Benfica game.
He got his ass beat. Like that was like an NWO style beat down. They just whooped that poor ref's ass.
That's hilarious. Imagine if he went to manage to ref the Benfica game, that would have been amazing for him. He probably still would have been.
They would have just did it again.
They would have been throwing shit at him on the field.
Throwing some water at him or some shit like that.
Actually, no, there was no Benfica fans allowed in Leipzig, I think, because of their bullshit behavior.
There was still a couple, but they were in theory banned.
Yeah, they had infiltrated like the home support, essentially, for what I gathered.
Mm. But yeah, on this pen, to bring it back to this pen, it's clear bullshit, right?
Yeah, it's bullshit to me. I don't think this is a pen.
I think that there is enough evidence from replay to overturn the ruling on the field.
Yeah.
That's how clear it is. That's the highest standard of evidence, is overturning a ruling on the field, which to me that there's enough.
Because to me, there's no real evidence that he clips them.
No.
Yeah.
Like you said, we have a couple angles where we can't really tell.
This one was the only one where I thought maybe he can hit him. But even
then, when I saw this angle, I still wasn't fully convinced.
Yeah. Let me try just maybe pressing play and pausing. You think we'll get...
You're fucked.
We're going to fuck?
Do it.
You're going to get fucked. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it, dog. I want to keep it a buck.
Let me see if I can get a better one here.
Yeah. I don't think there's... of all the angles that like the public has been privy to see,
I think this is the best angle.
Me that they could enter... Even
like he's already falling there, and the back leg is just dragging on, but it's still not touching him.
He's already like in the act of like he's in the air. Like it's I just don't think there's contact. Even if there is, I don't think there's like if he just grazes him, even like by like a hair, I still don't think it's enough for a pen. Like it's of all the angles we've seen, there's just not.
That's the other thing. It's like, even if he grazes him, then you have to consider like, was he going to get to the ball, things like that. But I don't even think we need to worry about any of that because I don't even think he touches him.
The ball. Yeah. I think by the time he's down, like the ball was well out of his reach, anyways. Like, just shenanigans again.
Yeah.
We still have more causes, don't we? I hate that. Every week we talk about the refs. I hate this fucking league. I'll watch MLS from now. We're gonna become an MLS.
Nah, they're still I mean, did you see the final?
Yeah, I did. They were fucked too.
I thought that if the ball deflects onto the arm, it doesn't count as a handball.
Yeah, I thought so too, but apparently
20th minute, boom, changes the game. Instantly gives the home team a pen.
Wild.
Not a lot of other causes to talk about other than whatever happened in the sidelines. I still don't understand what the fuck.
I still don't really know. I just think some guys were agitated.
I've literally watched the video that like shows it, and it's like, it's not even clear what happened. I think it's just like
I just think it was just like tensions probably boiling over, and someone probably said something to someone else, and someone probably took it a little too hard, and then they just kicked.
I think it was because the Sporting substitutes were like basically near the Guimarães bench because they were like the ones that were warming up were there, and then all the Guimarães bench was standing up because there was like a couple minutes left. Yeah. That
might have been it.
And then Plot was like going to get the ball, and it was like in the middle of them, and then one thing led to another.
Yeah. I do like what Amorim said after the game. Amorim took shots at that Porto game last year, I believe it was, where there was like fans that came on to like try to like they punched Mateus Reis. So he said, we're not going to try to let that happen again. But if anybody's like in the right to be like nervous or nervoso or like like on edge, it would be the players. Obviously, like they're more at right than anybody else, right? So
they're justified because if it's happened once, there's a non-zero chance that it happens again.
Right? And it's coming after the heat of the game. So obviously, if you're in that heat,
some people lose their mind. Some people just
react
red. They see a red mist and they lose their minds. It's like it's just a game.
Yeah,
relax, but. Some people just can't. They shouldn't be allowed in public. I've long said if you're gonna go and like attack a player, like an athlete on the field, revoke your driver's license, go to jail, don't pass go. Like you're a psycho.
Yeah, no, for sure. But all in all, though, I understand it's a loss. It's 2 like missed opportunities.
Yeah,
but I'm at least more like at ease that it's coming up against the good teams. You know what I mean? We fucked up against Benfica, but it is Benfica. We fucked up against Guimarães away to Guimarães,
especially this year
on a rainy night. But it is a Guimarães that's recently been inspired with Alvaro Pacheco, right? So if I'm gonna lose to anybody, at least let us lose to that fucking.
I think
just the way we lost. It sucks.
I think too because everything's so close and nobody's like usually this time of year, at least one team looks outstanding.
Yeah.
Most years, one team is like you can see they're like a bit of a class above the rest. No one's done that this year.
I think it's us. I really think it's us. I think
we've looked the most. I think we've played the most consistently out of the big teams. I
think we've dominated the most games. Benfica against Farense, it wasn't one of those games where it's like, oh, how is Benfica not up 3-4-0? It was one of those games where Farense can steal a result here. Like Benfica's not doing much. Porto, I feel like most of their games that I've watched this year,
they come down to the end.
Yeah, it comes down to the end, and that's credit to them as well. They at least know how to finish games and win games. I'm not saying the other, like that's still a skill to have in sport.
That's how we won our title. It's all like last 10-minute games.
Sure.
Like,
but I'm saying in terms of like style of play, in terms of dominating possession, I think it's us. I just think we have some idiots in our team. I think if we have a goalkeeper, I said this last podcast, I feel.
If we have a half-decent goalie,
we're fine. We're not losing this game. We're winning 2-1, and it's getting sweaty at the end. But we're not losing this game, or at the very least, we're tying this game because I cannot forgive that near post goal. That is ridiculous. You have Inácio there. Why are you trying to stop the cross? And then when the ball gets past him, then after he like goes into like he's a hockey goalie, bro. He's going into the butterfly position.
Yeah.
That's not something you do in soccer, brother.
That's something you like maybe in futsal, but not in 11-a-side.
Not in soccer, bro. So I don't know if the Leafs need a goalie or not. I haven't been too big into hockey this year, Rich. So
they're doing fine.
They're doing fine. How about Boston? Boston needs a goalie because Adan.
No, we got two. We got 2 pretty solid goalies, sir. We're fine.
Well, then Adan, go to the minors or something. The Marlies might be looking out for you or some shit like that. Because the way you're dropping into butterfly position is just cheesing me.
Go play in Arizona.
You know what I mean?
Coyotes.
With that being said, I don't know if you guys want to nominate a man of the match. I already said I want to give mine a Hulman at least. Feel free to give it to somebody from Guimarães.
I'm giving it to whoever didn't watch this game. Good for you. You're my man. If
Congratulations.
you didn't watch
You
his
won the man of the
game,
match.
you are Richard Neves' man of the match for
Fair
this
enough.
game. And I
How about
salute
you, Chris? I liked Handel from Guimarães, but I've liked him for a while.
He had a
now.
good game.
Yeah, he had a good game.
He's solid.
We got burned by all the Silvas, by the way. All their goals
Tough
came from
to
Silvas.
tough to give it to someone, honestly.
Yeah. Mangas was good too. I don't know why he has a 4.7 there.
I thought Jota Silva looked good. I just threw it back in my fantasy. I thought he actually looked okay.
I guess I'll give
Portuguese
ours
Grealish.
to Diamande.
Yeah, fair.
All right.
I think that he was just like the least underwhelming
of everybody. I think that's reasonable.
Fair enough.
Shall we dive into league? Actually, league predictions did not change because we all screwed up this week. None of us got any scores or the result for this Guimarães game.
For those interested, though.
For those interested, this is what we had.
Bring it in closer.
Yeah.
I had a 2-0 prediction. Pot and Edwards. Pot maybe should have got a goal, but
almost everybody had one of Pot, Edwards, or Jokeres. It's hilarious. We all had similar scorers.
Edwards. Chris had Jokeres, Hillman, Jenny. 3-1 win, didn't happen. Richard with Jokeres and Edwards, 2-1 win, didn't happen. Sam, 3-1. Edwards, Jokeres,
no points.
This is the leader. The table still is Richard in first with 30. Me and Chris tied it for 29. Sam, 23 points. Did anybody submit their Europa? This is so far what Europa is saying.
I'm going to submit it now, so keep it on there. I'm going to lock my Europa League prediction in right now. We're playing Sturm. It's a nothing game. I'm going to go 2-0. Actually, I'm going to go 3-0.
Nice.
I think Jenny's going to get a goal. I'm going to go really off the board and say Esgaio.
I'm celebrating that.
And I'm taking we're gonna get an own goal as well. I'm gonna go really bold.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I predicted own goal once this year and it didn't pay off, but one of these days I'm gonna predict it and it will pay off.
I feel like that's what we were saying all of last year when we were betting on Esgaio. Or even a few years ago, anytime we would make the prediction and we'd like, Pring is gonna score this week.
Putting your banger incoming, it just never came.
Never happened. It's gonna be the 1 week you don't say no.
I might also change this prediction, but that's what I'm confident of, at least scorer wise. But I think the result wise, I'm confident in.
Nice. And then we'll talk about the big one over here in just a minute. But of course, we won't make any predictions just yet.
No.
Let's go on to fantasy.
Someone had a big week.
Things have changed. Somebody did have a big week. Richard did 67 points, so he's gotten 10 points closer to Chris, 13 points closer to me.
100 points.
Having Sam eating dust down there. God damn.
So less than 100 points away from Chris. If my sporting guys had come through. If one of my sporting guys had come through, it would have helped.
Victor goalless. I like that. But yeah, so Sam's team, Bozinek, Jokeres. Wait, Chris, you gave up on Bozinek? You already said
this is probably his last week for me. I was maybe going to cut him last week, but I used my 2 transfers elsewhere. So
I was thinking that too. Have you cut him, Rich?
I cut him for this upcoming week, yeah.
Oh, the upcoming. Yeah.
So also, Bovista, I mean, we were making fun of the hot start, or it was like a joke, right? Oh, they don't get paid. Imagine how good they'd play if they got paid.
Yeah.
Reality has hit them so hard.
Reality hit them like a bus.
They haven't won for the league since September now.
Yeah.
What could have been?
Petit just got, what's the word?
They mutually agreed
Petit's out. Yeah, it's over.
It's Jover for Bobby.
I forget who they had rumored to, or not rumored. Somebody's coming in. It's like Daniel Ramos or something like that.
He's done some decent work with Mauricio Teclada and stuff, so he might be something. But I think it's a step down from Petit the way they had started the season. It's a shame,
and it's a shame too because I mean. When we're talking about the top teams in Portugal, I would love to see Boavista up there.
Historic. You look at the historical teams. It's the Boavistas. It's the Académica de Coimbra. It's Blenantes.
Of course.
Beira-Mar is kind of there. You look at kind of the big name, historical big city teams, Boavista's definitely up there.
But
you
it's
look
even
at them journey back to the first division that they had. It would suck to see them go back down in somewhat similar fashion.
exactly. I mean, in an ideal world in Portugal, like Boavista, Braga, Guimarães, they're the ones, compete. Even Gil Vicente to a degree, they're the ones competing for like that extra Europa Conference League spot.
And even like some of the domestic trophies they're in for the shout for the Taça or Taça de Liga, like who knows?
Which Estoril this year.
Estoril's been impressive. Good for them. Porto already out of the Taça de Liga.
Because of Estoril.
Estoril
have beaten Porto, I think, 2 times this season already.
Yeah, that's been a weird boogeyman for Porto this year.
Yeah.
But this is Sam's team. His defense, his defensive line are 11. Now, what did he leave on the bench for points? He left 4 points. Yeah, he didn't leave much. So
maybe one more point for
the goalkeeper, and he could have got like an extra 3 points on the bench. So he left like 4 points on the bench realistically.
Yeah, it's these Braga players, bro. It's hard to say. That's why I have none in my team.
It's tough
except for Banza, of course.
I have Banza and Horta. Yeah, I have Banza. I have Horta, and Rafa helped me out.
Rafa had a good week.
You stopped.
You got Matheus Oliveira. Nice.
Yeah. Antonio Silva came in as guy. I think the only big points I left was Mura on the bench. Really,
yeah. Casapia goalkeeper is a bold move, bro.
I benched him because I benched Bruno Varela for him, thinking like, oh, that'd be fine. But then Boavista beat us.
Bruno Varela actually had a really good save.
He had a good. I'm good. Glad to see because he's a guy who they always kind of hyped up. It's good to see him kind of coming into his own a little bit.
Here's the thing that pisses me off, though. Why does Guimarães have a better goalkeeper than us?
Bro, everybody's got a better goalkeeper than us.
It's funny because the Benfica could say the same thing about him. He'd probably start for them right now, too.
Yeah.
But
he might start. Yeah, he might
in an objectively worse situation than
he might start if with a show for Benfica. You're not wrong, Chris.
Yeah, fair.
At one point, the man was like a Benfica meme, but now
I will say, Danny, I did just transfer a send from Vizela into my team for Bozanic.
I've been having him.
I gave up on Bozanic this week.
Most of the season. He's been solid for me.
Yeah.
He's been solid for me. But yeah, Bozanic's still there. I think I might keep him for another week or two. I'm with you guys.
You never know.
I got Arsenis in this team recently. Right. Put up 8 points. I think I have him on my bench this week, but I might start him still.
Yeah. Who did you leave on the bench this week for points? Did you leave a lot of points on your bench this week?
No, just Fujimoto, but I think
you could have got. So you left like max 3 on your bench by the looks of it.
Yeah, maybe 1 point instead of Buta. I could have had Lalu. But yeah, nothing else really. I just got in Costinha this week too. Got a point. Okay, not bad. I'll take that. And then of course, let's look at first place. Thick Vic and the
Revolutionaries. Big week from Banza. Big week from Rafa helped you out there.
Yeah,
and then it was kind of little bits and.
My man Falcao left him on the bench again.
You left Falcao on the bench,
14 points the last 2 weeks. I've gotten 0 of them.
Oh, Falcao killed you. That's why I caught up. You left 9 points on the bench,
bro. And if fantasy has taught me anything this year, is when you start him, you won't.
He's gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I can't. If I start him next week, he does nothing. Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah. Wild.
Tomaj on the bench though.
So that's why. So I've gained some points, but
I got Marcelo this week. Former Sporting center back.
Yeah, legend. Chicago Fire legend as well.
Yeah.
Facts. And that's the table right now. Chris at first with 770 points. I'm 5 points back, 765. Richard's making the comeback, 669.
I was at one point like 130 points back, I think, as well. So the fact that I'm like 101 points off first all of a sudden, I have made up 29 points in the last few weeks.
Chipping away.
It's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We're chipping.
And speaking of marathon, Sam, you got to make this look more like a sprint now, brother.
Yeah.
He's still got time.
Yeah, that's true.
Not even
halfway yet.
Yeah, we're not at the halfway point. We're only this week 14, so we're going into
facts.
So
Chris, I'll pass it off to you for Mudali Dodge before we end it off with some Monday predictions. Really, because the game's on Monday. I noticed.
It's a Monday game.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's on Monday.
Glad I'm
'Cause we
unemployed till January.
Because we play Thursday. Oh shit! Fuck! I might just quit my job just so I can watch it, brother. I'm gonna be real.
I'll start working.
I think I'll probably get off at 2 on Monday,
Nice.
so I'll be good to watch the game.
Good stuff.
Whatchamacallit? So for modalidades, futsal won comfortably. I think it was like 7-0. Handball won again, 14-0. B team
had a win, I thought.
B team won, yep.
Yeah.
B team is in second place.
That was the big game. That was the
Tercera Liga is always like very tight.
Yeah.
Especially like the 4th spot versus 5th. 4th is a promotion playoff spot and 5th is a relegation playoff spot. The difference between like 4th and 5th is like 1 point. So Sporting's in second, but it's only like a 2-point lead.
It's wild.
So, but it's still good to see that they're in good positioning, in the upper half of the table as opposed to last season or two where they certainly have not been. And then at the end, it's like chasing to see if you can slide in that last spot from slide into it. So yeah, it's been actually a decent season for the B team. What other modalities?
Well, ladies played or no?
I don't think the ladies played. Hockey won. I think that's really it. Basketball. I think basketball won as well. They lost last week, but then they won this week. Handball, B team. Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, you're right. The ladies. It didn't look like the ladies.
The hockey game actually was a pretty sick comeback. They were down in the last 5 minutes, and then they.
No, the ladies played. They tied. They tied 1-1 with Amora.
Oh, really? I missed that one. Damn, they tied. They
tied 1-1.
They take a result.
Yeah, they did play. They tied 1-1, so they
just probably allowed Benfica to get back to where they were.
I haven't looked at the table since the Benfica game, but I imagine Benfica
they cut it from 5 to 2, I think, by beating them, and so now it's probably back up to 4.
Probably. But again, long season.
So hockey was a late comeback, and that's pretty much it. Fatawu was championship player, team of the week.
True. Yeah. True.
Yeah, he's been. My buddy's a Leicester fan. He's real happy with it. Oh my god, I'm glad someone is.
You know who else was in championship team of the week was Coventry City's Milan Van Ewijk, who was linked to Sporting for like.
The right back.
Fullback. That's right.
Wow, I missed.
What could have been, man?
What could have been? I think I wanted him more than I wanted Fresneda, to be honest.
In Sporting semi-related right back news, Valentino Rozier was exiled at Besiktas.
There's a big Besiktas exile.
They lost to Galatasaray. They're, I guess, too far off the top, and they're.
It was like him. It was another
like
meltdown.
Abubakar was in the list as well.
So they're because I'm like, I remember these names.
What happened to Podu this week? Something's happened that I didn't understand what.
He had 2 assists.
Don't let him loose in jail, bro.
Yeah, he played really well against Newcastle, and they won.
Okay. I thought it was something controversial.
No, he's been playing really well the past 3 weeks.
And he did.
Tottenham have been
Newcastle United loses is a good day for me.
What?
I'm not a Newcastle.
Why?
Plastic.
What the fuck?
They're Man United now. They're Man City now. They're plastic.
Nah, bro, but they've done it the right way, bro.
They
haven't went out and signed Mbappe.
They got bought out by some oil princes, and now they're doing whatever. They did it the right way. You're right.
No, but they did do it the right way. They've only gotten in like Trippier.
They could have brought in more.
They could have brought in like stars.
To be fair, they could have brought in more.
If anything, they sold their star to. I've never heard of him since. St. Maximum. I don't even know what Saudi team he's playing for.
He's on.
Is it Steven Gerrard's team?
He's on Al Ali, I think.
It's one of the Owls.
It's one of the Owls. Does he still play with the Gucci headband out there?
Yeah.
I saw that.
That's all I care about, bro.
Yeah.
But fair enough. All right, let's move on to the predictions then. Big game this next week, basically Monday, 3:15 Eastern. Sporting Porto, I should say.
We don't want to preview the Europa League game. The useless Europa League game.
Yeah. Who's your back? Who? Okay. Let's do the Europa League first. Actually, what's the back?
Okay.
What's the back line? That's all I care about. Who cares about the score? What's your back line?
Mateusz Reis is in there. I think at the one.
Neto is Gaio Reis.
I think it might. You know, I think Chris Neto is Gaio Reis. I think Jenny starts at fullback.
Jenny, Nuno Santos,
and Nuno Santos might start.
Bragança.
Bragança's been injured, so I don't know if he's
Sugo's getting some minutes this game.
But I think it'll be a Sugu Murita or something.
Yeah.
Like
Paulinho will play. Joquetas
maybe a Sugu Pot. Yeah.
Yeah. Paulinho, Trincão, and
Trincão will start.
Alfonso Moreira if he's still alive.
Yo, that's a show.
But yeah, Porto game though. Let's move because who cares about the Stormcast?
Is that at home? Europa League games,
right?
It is at home.
It's at home.
Yeah,
it's a meeting. There's going to be a note right now because it means nothing.
18K.
Yeah.
You're thinking 8? I think it might be even less. I'm calling 16K.
No, it's still Europa. It might hit.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean it's more expensive? So it like really is like against.
True.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a meaningless game. Like everybody knows they can't move.
It's a Thursday at 8 p.m.
Thursday, like. This is doing toss the Liga numbers. Bro.
If it's like raining too, it's gonna be even less.
It's gonna be. This is doing toss the Liga numbers. This is gonna be a shambolic attendance.
Yeah, bro. The zone commentator is gonna be going crazy then.
Going
with
psycho.
that stat.
All right, Porto.
Porto on the week, or on the weekday, really on Monday. They need a win or at least tie against Shakhtar. So that's at least good for us because they'll be playing their stars. Rich, I'll start it off with you, bro. What are your predictions? What are your thoughts on this game? Give it to me.
Oh, I'm afraid. I'm very afraid. I don't know. We're at home. We've done well at home this season for the most part. I think the only game we've lost at home is that Atlanta game, which we really should have drawn. Porto has been weird this season. Like I said, nobody's looked outstanding. No one's looked holy crap incredible, which usually there's one team in the league that looks great. They definitely haven't. They've probably looked the most uninspired of the big three at times in domestic play. I am going to predict, God help us all, a 2-1 win. Joquetas gets both of them.
Wow.
That might change, but I think we have everything it takes to win. I think we're going to be a bit more rested because they're going to want to make sure they play Shakhtar as well. You said I didn't realize that. So yeah, they're going to want to play.
I think they're home though too. Let me double check that.
But they're going to play all, if not most, of their starters for that game. So we'll probably have at least a few guys more well rested than them, which will benefit us. We're at home, which should benefit us. I would assume if Ruben Amorim rolls out the stars for fucking Sturm Graz on a Thursday.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying maybe it'll benefit us because I've seen us rest players and they come back garbage.
Weird. Yeah.
So
I think we have everything to win. I don't think we lose this game. I think if this was last year, I would have said we lose the game. I think we at least get a draw, but I'm gonna go in on a limb and predict a win.
Nice.
I think.
Nice.
And,
I like that.
And call me crazy, there might be some arguments at the end because big Sergio Conceição might cause some issues.
It's Porto.
Because he's got such a rein in on his temper these days.
Yeah. No, Richard. Yeah, you're crazy, bro. It's Porto. They never get into these issues.
There's never any.
And
issues.
Sporting on top of that with Porto, never, bro.
Never.
Since
when?
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be one. I pray there's gonna be one really bad call though. That's gonna piss one side off.
Yeah, I have a feeling
Pep
might punch Quats in the face or something like that. For sure. Chris, let me send it off to you. Any previews, predictions, thoughts, feelings going into this game? What are you saying, bro? Yeah. What's the mood rising?
What's the mood? If you got a mood ring, what's the mood ring saying?
I think I'm leaning draw, to be honest.
That's fair. That's reasonable. I might change my mind.
Wouldn't be the worst result in the world for us right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
A loss would be pretty devastating.
A loss would kill them. Yeah.
I mean, 3 losses in a short period of time, 9 points left on out there. I mean, that's a lot. That's a big difference. And yeah, I mean, I feel like this is this year's a great opportunity to win the title because it feels like Porto and Benfica are both underperforming, especially to more so Benfica than Porto as far as expectations. But they're certainly both underperforming, and they both seem like far more mortal than they have in recent years. Even when, again, maybe their squad isn't on paper or whatever, but they just feels like any week Benfica or Porto can go out and lose to any team in our league.
Yeah,
which
given week, someone
hasn't always felt like it was the case. It felt, and often, or the most frequent feeling is like, especially when you're out of town scoreboard watching, or just watching their games because you're just at home or whatever and it's on. It's always like it feels like or in the past it's often felt like, oh, we need a miracle here for this to at least be a draw. For Porto to not win, he's gonna take a miracle.
The last minutes.
But nowadays it doesn't really feel like it necessarily take a miracle. Just a solid performance. So yeah, I mean, it feels like it's a great opportunity, but you lose to Benfica, you lose to Porto, you lose to Guimarães in the middle there. I mean, all of a sudden you're kind of choking away a great opportunity. And yeah, if we lose, it's not like the league title's over. They'll be 3 points ahead of us.
It's just really it's an inconvenience.
We probably technically still would control our own destiny even in that scenario, but it's still just not. It's not where you want to be trending for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you there. That's why I'm going to go for a win because I think enough is enough. There's been enough of this rhetoric where Amorim's teams don't perform in the big games. The last results, I forget what the stat is now, but the last handful of results against Porto and Benfica haven't been in our favor. It has been either a draw or a loss, right? So the last time I remember beating a rival under Amorim was Benfica, the title-winning season at home.
I remember the year after the title-winning season, we went to the Stade de Luz and demolished them too. But that was it.
Right. Yeah.
And we won Costa Liga against them that year.
Yes.
What a simpler time that was. Just at the end, kind of tail end of COVID.
But it's not all doom and gloom though.
No.
I need to say, I think this season, at least we're in a title race this season. Last season,
last year we were in the title race by October.
By October, exactly. So
people call me stupid for saying if we lost Porto that year, we were out of the title race, and I was proven right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I think I'm going to go with the win because you're right, Chris. A draw, a loss, especially a loss, I think would be devastating. I don't know if I said this earlier. If I haven't, let me say it now. I'm at least more secure with Coach coming in. I'm wearing this jersey for a reason. Coach is in the back. I don't want to hear a bad thing uttered about Coach. There's a Spartan defense with Coach and there's one without Coach. And it's clear that the one without Coach is a lot worse. Soon. No, G can come back on the show as much as he wants. I just want him to know his opinion is wrong. But it's not just his.
We all say that.
There's a lot of people that have this opinion about Quach, and I disagree entirely with it. I think he still remains to be our top center back, and like I said, especially in a back three. If there's a back two, we might have a different conversation about Quach. But with a back three, I feel way better with our chances with Quach. There's even to keep it as simple, there's a Gonçalo Inácio with Coach, and there's one without Coach. And the one without Coach is a disaster to watch. So with that being said, I think we have enough to beat this Porto team. Because although they're starting to get the results in, they're not a special team. I was talking to actually my boy Patrick yesterday, diehard Porto fan. He doesn't know what his best 11 is. I'm sure Sergio doesn't know what his best 11 is. When they lost Estoril, he already started mentioning, playing the U19, the B players and shit like that. So they don't know just yet. Their back line, you can't tell me who's Porto's best center back is this kid that just showed up in the B team because Pep this year hasn't been there.
And they have Estoril again in the Tasa too, by the way. That's who they got the Estoril away.
I can't wait.
Cannot wait.
So all I'm saying is Sporting, just study the Estoril film and we'll be
Go
good.
from there. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm more confident in this one. I think we'll get the win. I think we'll finally get over that hurdle of our big team slump, and I think that'll push us to at least playing with a bit more confidence. But of course, we'll see. Because I mean, if I throw money on it, you know what that means. It means
So don't throw money on it then.
But I'm thinking, hold on, hear me out though. What if I throw money on Porto?
Oh, you're
probably
back.
That's fine. That's fine.
They'll probably win though, is what I'm saying.
Then they'll win.
They'll probably
And do
win.
you want that money? Because it's gonna feel.
I don't want that
Blood
money.
money.
I'll take it.
I
I'll take
want
your money.
it,
If you win, I'll take your money. Just e-transfer. I got PayPal.
We got e-transfer. We don't need.
We got
PayPal
e-transfer. We don't need that because we're cool in Canada. We have e-transfer. Suck on that, America.
Yeah, with your fucking Vimeo out there. This
Yeah,
podcast at this point should just be me and you ripping on like
America.
Christian and Sam on their like UK British values and stuff like that.
Thing is,
Sorry,
like,
the
they're
UK
all
and
kind of
American
the
things. Yeah. But anyways, I digress. That's my predictions. Anything else to add, boys? Anything that we missed?
No, I think we hit everything this week. So next week we'll be back with last of the Europa League review. We'll know all the teams that have dropped out from Europa League. We know half of them today, but we'll save that talk for next week.
No, sorry. Let's just bring it up now. Actually,
we know half the teams. I think now.
Yeah, we'll bring
Sevilla's
it up.
out. We won't get Sevilla. That's who I know.
But we might get who else is in their group? It was
Sevilla's
PSV,
already out.
Arsenal, Lens.
Lens is
might get
dropped out
Lens.
from that
Yeah.
group.
I'll take
Man
that.
United is out, so I think we get Galatasaray.
Galatasaray.
Is into the Europa League. Benfica, we know, has dropped down, and Braga has
Benfica went
also
to
dropped
Europa,
out.
and Braga went to Europa, which is a good thing because we
Good for
can
the
get
Portuguese coefficients.
Yeah,
as well.
sure. Yeah, whatever. That's all. Like, I give a fuck about all that shit.
I care a little bit.
Fuck Benfica. If they were in fucking fourth, I would have been happy.
I want to know. I want Benfica to do well, and then they lose in the final. That's how you want it.
I don't even want them getting to unless it's losing to us in the final. I don't want them getting to the final.
Let them lose to us in the semifinal, and then we win in the final. How about that?
I would take that.
But if we can beat them in the final, even better.
I would take that even more.
But
we'll
that's
get to
the
rest.
dropouts from today. We'll know the final for
Mhm.
tomorrow, so we'll dissect that next week. We'll have the last of the Europa League, just kind of talk about what's going to be a nothing game, talk about the Porto game, and then I think the last games of the calendar year are basically just Taça games, like Taça and Taça de Liga. Then we'll just do a preview of those.
Sounds good. So we'll see you guys next week. I'll be at least on let me preview. It always comes out after, so I'll probably preview it next week. But I've been invited on the Portugal corner.
Oh, hell yeah.
On Monday, so we usually film on Monday. So here's the problem, though. Every time I've went on, Sporting don't get the result. So
Stop going.
I don't know, bro. Maybe I should play hard to
keep going
get.
on.
Just keep going on. What are you gonna do? It's gonna be like betting on. It's like betting on the Generals against the Globetrotters. They're due. One of these days they're due.
That's right. I am due one. So fair enough. So we'll see there. But yeah, boys, good shit as always. And in the words of Nardwar, do. Don't forget to follow the page right here. I almost forgot to do that. AT Alvalade. And then, of course, follow the guys. That's Chris. That's mine. That's Sam. But last but not least, that's Richard. But again, AT Alvalade. This was Strompcast 208. And we'll see you next week when we're top of the table and we slashed Porto 5-0. Ciao. Where's the outro?
I don't know.